In this video, I'm going to show you how to use a salad spinner from your kitchen and acrylic paint to create the most gorgeous abstract collage papers. This technique is something that you might have tried as a kid, at least I did, where I used a spinner art kit with inexpensive craft paint, and they still sell these kits. However, this is the adult version of that technique where we are using archival materials like acrylic paints and paper that we'll later use as elements to create collages. Hello, my name is Catherine Rains. I'm a mixed media collage artist, and welcome to Tune In Tuesday, where I share art demos to expand your mixed media toolbox. If you see value in my art demos, I would deeply appreciate a thumbs up, and if you would subscribe to my channel below. Links for all the supplies to make these gorgeous abstract papers are down below under the word more. And while you're there, you might also want to check out my free 5-lesson online workshop, Collage Kickstart, where I teach you how to use all the collage papers taught during Tune In Tuesday to make fabulous collages the very first try. So let's get into creating gorgeous abstract collage papers with a salad spinner. The most important supply to make these papers is obviously the salad spinner. So I had bought this salad spinner specifically to do this type of paper. However, when I put a piece of paper inside of it, I realized that it didn't hold even a small piece of paper. The paper needs to fit in a very small space between here and here. So I ended up pulling the salad spinner from my own kitchen to do this because the same piece of paper, when I lay it in the basket, it lays flat, and that's what you want. Now, some of my papers I did have to cut down just a little bit because I did want the paper to lie flat in the basket. But you can see I can get a much bigger piece in this basket compared to this one. So this is going back to Amazon, and this one is a permanent part of my art studio now because this is so full of paint after playing with this technique for many hours that I can no longer use it for lettuce. So I'll be replacing this. A link to this salad spinner that really is the standard size that I think many people actually use if you use a salad spinner for lettuce. The link for this is in the supplies list under this video. The other supply obviously is paper, and I experimented with different kinds of papers for this, and I found the papers basically bringing them back to life. This is a 100-pound mixed media. You could use a Bristol, a Stonehenge, watercolor paper. Bottles. I also had some black construction paper that was fairly thick. However, when I tried it with either rice paper or a copy paper, it didn't work as well because when I put it in the basket, it was so lightweight that it actually kind of folded on top of each other. So a little bit of weight actually helps. I also tried it with a homemade watercolor paper, which I loved. And you can also use this to salvage old collage papers that you really don't like. So I have a large pile of what I call dud collage. And you need acrylic paint. Now, this is Nova brand acrylic paint. It comes in a jar that looks like this, and it's a soft to medium body acrylic paint. This paint can easily pour into these. Work really well for this method because we're literally going to pour our paint into the salad spinner and then spin. And that's all you need. Really simple supplies for this one. I am all set up with my salad spinner. I've got my two primaries, a gold, white, and black to add to the mix. So I'm going to start with a piece of mixed media paper that I've cut down to size so it'll fit in this little basket. And I'm going to take a little blue. There's no recipe for this. It's all play. No idea what's going to happen with any paper I make like this, but it's going to be fun no matter what, right? Okay, put our top on here, and I've got a fancy one here. I can just stop it. See what happens. Ooh, look at this. Wow. So I think this black is going to be interesting. But what this is teaching me, since I know that some of the more paint on it, although I love it just like it is. This is a piece of homemade paper. I bought it like this. And I'm going to see if I can stabilize this a little by putting it it by tucking the paper into the grates of this thing, because this is also kind of a lightweight paper. So let's try some gold. And I don't know, I'm thinking white. Oh, interesting. Love this. It's interesting, some of the paint that is in this bucket is actually coming off during the spinning because the paint is still wet. So it's something to just be aware of, but I'm okay with that. Particularly because on a piece of paper like this, I would, cut off a little piece. I'm probably not going to use the entire piece in a collage. I am playing with any kind of paper in my arsenal. This is a piece of black. I think it's just construction paper. It could be watercolor paper. I am not sure, but it's kind of a thin paper. Blue and yellow that I used before is likely to spread onto here. I'm going to stick to colors that I don't mind if that stuff from the basket get onto my paper. I think I'm going to add some white to this too. This is so much fun because you don't know what's going to happen, so I love the reveal. Wow. So freaking cool. I'll try another piece of mixed media paper. It seems to be working better with a little bit heavier weight paper. Now I've already mixed up some paint, which is actually a combination of these two colors plus white. This is just something I had in my studio, so I thought I'd play with having a lot of paint on there too. Let's see what that does. And why not add some white, right? Absolutely stunning. I love how thick this paint is. It's gonna be really cool to add this to a collage. I'm obsessed with this black. Now my hands are full of paint, so it's getting onto the paper. So I need to take that into consideration with what colors I'm going to put down on this. So I know whatever colors are in the basket are also going to move onto this. So just need to be aware of that. Now I am trying to spin it even more and see what happens. So I'm doing extra spins, see if I get a different kind of design. Okay, let's see what happens. I don't think it mattered that I pumped it more, but I love that. Now I've been dying to try this on collage paper that I really don't like. Like this is part of my stash of duds that I intend to put layers on. This is a perfect one to try it with. It's a pretty thin paper, so I am putting the paper kind of securing it into the grids. So hopefully it won't fly out when I start spinning it. I absolutely love this. And the paint is so textured, it's very thick. So it'll take a while to dry. However, it'll actually dry thick so that I can use that dimension as part of my collage element. Another piece of dud collage paper. Let's see. I'm going to try something a little radical. Let's see if I can mix the colors a little bit. So I'm going to take a straw and just mix the colors a little bit. Who knows what's going to happen here? Ooh, ooh. Okay, this is what I'm going to do for the next 10 of these. Love, love, love. Just a little mixing goes a long way. Wow. Put a piece of mixed media paper in here. Just a little bit of yellow because I'd like to get a teal. Now this is a really thick white. I just changed my white because I ran out. So again, I'm going to do a little bit of mixing ahead of time. Gosh, this is so much fun. Yeah, Wow. Wow. Look how thick that paint is. Okay, I'm going to try some black, a little white, and some gold. Now, more than likely, I'm going to get some blue and some yellow on here as well. I mean, talk about abstract art. And it's so thick. Very cool. Put some Handmade, I think this is watercolor paper. A little more blue. I'd really like to get some teal going. Ooh, wow. To say that I'm in love with this collection of collage papers would be a mild understatement. I'm in love with them. And literally, I could have done them for hours and hours and hours. And what I think is so cool is that many of them have this scrumptious detail. So wherever the paint kind of splattered, it stayed in that really thick paint, and now it's dry. I actually let all of these dry overnight because the paint was so thick. I cannot wait to start using these in future collages. And I trust that you are going to love making these as well. Have fun. To learn how to make many more types of collage papers, check out the links that are about to appear right here. And be sure to join my free 5-lesson online class, Collage Kickstart. The link to sign up is under the word more below. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I would be deeply grateful if you would. And I'll see you here next week for another Tune In Tuesday.